We're on to the second last box of the second case, which also coincidentally might probably be my last case for the channel. Again, I don't know how much I want to open. There's not much for me to hunt for, right? I might as well just buy the singles. What to talk about today? Actually, you know what? We can talk about the card variety, right? Now, I might end up doing a video on this anyway, but hey, you know, we'll start the conversation off. So, card variety. Are we getting past the point where we need 3 versions of every card, right? Again, the color mechanic was cool. It was more just interactive and a learning experience from the get-go. But are we past it, right? Is the community at the point where it's learned enough that it's sort of a disadvantage for people starting out? Again, that's probably the hardest thing for me, or was, I should say, to wrap my head around when starting out, was what colors do I want to run? Why is this color better than this color? You know, the pitch, the block, all the numbers, figuring all that out, I think is a pretty big hurdle for everyone to think about. So in terms of comments and that, where we understand, well, this is 4 damage, so it's on the breakpoint, right? It's 1/3, so that's good. Versus if this was in yellow and had 3 damage. Yeah, we get the 1 extra resource, but then if we're already at that neutral point, right, when the majority of blocks are 3, not 2, you know, I might as well run the blue and be able to get the 1 extra resource out of it. You know, something like that, that dynamic. Do we need that? Or would it be better to have a lot more cards, have versatility, right? And overall, I would say sets be smaller than what we have, rather than being bloated with, again, the color variation. That will probably be the most jarring aspect for anyone getting into the game, right? Trying to figure out on how to build a deck, what colors work and why. And yeah, just it seems like it's an unnecessary hurdle now that the game has advanced to the point that it has, with the community understanding the metrics behind why X number is good and why X number is bad. Ooh, this is 3 packs down and absolutely nothing. And also, right, it will leave room for significantly more creativity. Because here's the thing to think about, okay? So there are, like 50 Majestics in a set? So call it, we'll say 180 cards, so I can do the math nice and easy in my head, right? 180 cards, but it's not really 180 cards, it's 60 cards. And again, they're just scaled depending on the color. We know that it's plus to the damage, plus to the pitch, minus the pitch, minus the damage, right? So 60 cards. We're losing 120 cards because their variation is just put it through a calculator, so to speak, right? There's nothing actually fantastical with their abilities. Something else I've noticed too. For instance, all of the boost cards with items, right? 0 to 1. There's no other advantage to red, yellow, blue, right? If red was 0, if yellow was 0 or 1, if blue was 0 to 2 or 1 to 2, right? There's none of that dynamicism anymore. We have that with the majority of cards, right? Resource cost or greater, and then it's scaled with the other metrics on the card. But we don't see that this often anymore. And again, it feels like more bloat unnecessary for the set. And even in draft, right? Again, getting more copies of the actual good variant. Is that an issue? Or just cutting down on the overall set size? Is that an issue? Or realistically, and to everyone's benefit, putting in 120 other cards. So it doesn't have to be 120. We can still have, a lot of cards have 3 variants, sure. Right? Make them more impactful, but still have numerous other new cards in a set, right? Any of those outcomes, I think, would be better than what we have now. Steel Soul Tower. That is that the best one? It's either that or the chest out of the Steel Soul, right? But that is our first M in 6 packs. Yikes, this is not shaping up to be a good case. Not in the least. Oh, this is cold foilless again. We got adaptive plating for our L. That's already, feels bad. And then we got Cogworks as our cold foil in our second box, and no cold foil in the first box that I know of. Again, I haven't looked through the video, but I'm pretty sure because I skimmed through the stack and there was nothing. System reset, second M. It's not It's not a card I dislike, right? It has a lot of fun potential, but at the same time, what are your payoffs for it? Played symbiosis shots, you know? Again, there's so many ways for them to just tweak the game or unhinge it a little bit, just a little bit, to let more fun through. But yeah, I don't know, how do you feel about the card variation, right? Because seeing a 250 card set, sure, on face value, it looks great. But then you start going, well, it's not at this point, is it? Right? We have so many variants of the same card, it's not really 250. And again, the variants, they don't impact as much as they used to in the earlier sets, right? That has really dropped off in design, even across the rares, right? Okay, so the colliders, the items actually do. But that's also a simple metric, right? The Steam counters is all it does. And then their effects work off the Steam counters. But there are so many other ones that do nothing, right? All they are a numbers metric, which makes them really less impactful because, you know the breakpoints. If it's a zero-cost card, and you can have this 4 damage one and this 3 damage one, well, you're going to take the 4 damage one, right? You're going to try and run as many of them as possible. Wax Off. I think that's the first Wax Off I've gotten. Is that a good card? Red is Zen State. I can't remember what Zen State does. Alright, and it's if you've played Wax on this turn. So you have to play both of them. So that's already 2 cards from your hand. Yeah, no, that doesn't seem great to me. But it is a lore card, right? This is the fancy lore cards. Quantum Processor, that's another great item. I think starting with that on Dash is my favorite, right? Because you turn your 1 free item into 2 free items, potentially. All you have to do is draw right. Come on. I've lost the way. Pretty sure someone told me you could split it in half and then tear it there. Whatever, I'm just gonna brute force pull it. Nothing, and no cold foil. Nope. Okay, so here's the other thing as well. Looking at the odds, because we did the math, right? 1.8 for the token slots. So every, 5 packs? Shouldn't be double token. Smashing Performance is good, but I think it's another spectatory card. When this attacks, draw a card, discard a random card. If a card with 6 or more, start this way. Destroy a random item. So actually the draw aspect is nice, right? To cycle a card, but it is pay 3. Oh, there's another Mech, Evo Face Breakers. I don't think they're great. Again, I think the chest and legs are all people care about for all the sets, right? The other ones don't really have huge payoff. This is just, I mean, a +2 burning card's not horrible. But there's so many other things you want to do with hyperdrivers, right? Even in Max, you can generate hyperdrivers. All of them don't seem like you can juggle them efficiently and still do everything else you want to do. Now, Penetration Strip, that's a different story. That is a great, is it not? I think that's the go-to for the majority of people to start off with that. Although I would, all honesty, if you're playing Blitz, especially, just take a Boom Grenade, right? The 4 free damage you can push over 2 turns, so they have to block. Yes, if you go first, it's a bit detrimental because they're refreshing their hand anyway. But after that, you go second. Boy, does it just ramp up the pressure. God, between the coding on these cards, they're like chalk at the moment, and I don't have the issue with the sound thing, but boy, does the feel just irritate me. Okay, handful of packs left, and by far the worst case I've gotten so far. By far the worst box I've gotten so far, and it does look like this is another. Nope, there we go. It's Cogworks. It's not horrible, but it's not great. I was going to say it was another cold foil this box. But, I think we're either just there or below the Majestic count too. No. Alright. Saving grace. It is TikTok Clock. Shit card. Again, I understand its use. Shit. Right? Shit. It should have been any number of items to actually be a win-con deck. That's another issue that I have with the game, right? They have attempts at different win-cons, but they are really awful to go for, right? Nitro, Levia, Singularity, all awful. Great concepts, but awful. TikTok Clock, there are ones with tons of potential. Moonshot, but then they are a little undertuned. Again, what matchup does this actually really work in, right? To actually allow you to have the correct board state to destroy your opponent's items and get the damage. Yeah. 2 turns of pressuring, right? That's all it is? No, it's 1 steam counter. Yeah, so it is 2 turns. So how do you turn it? 2 turns of pressuring item destruction against heroes when items. Again, I was hoping Crank would buff up items across the board. Didn't. What can you do? So much potential in this card. Anyway, we'll leave it there. 1 box left. Yeah, this case is vastly underwhelming. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.